So I recently picked up another expensive hobby, mechanical keyboards. When you first start off, most people get typical gaming keyboards that are fairly large with a full set of keys, numpad, and extra features like mechanical switches, LED control, etc. Thanks to the subreddit I'm part of, r/mechanical keyboards, I started my journey into the wonderful world of mech keyboards and the amount of money I put into it so far. To help me learn a bit more about customizing my own keyboard, I purchased the Keychron K6 wired and wireless hot swappable mechanical keyboard. So this is a keyboard that uses a 65% layout that supports both Windows and Mac, but the 65% means that it uses some non-standard keycap width, and you'll see that on the right hand side of the keyboard. A more typical one that matches a full-size layout would be a 60%, but you do lose out on the arrow keys, which I sorely need, which is why I settled on this one. The K6 is a specific line of various layout and features that Keychron has. One of the features is the hot swappable with other cherry-like switches. The K6 has different configurations available, including an aluminum plate and RGB lighting. I opted for plastic and only white backlighting. I opted for this configuration because I was looking for an affordable, hot swappable mechanical keyboard that I could quickly modify. It's been years since I soldered, and I don't have the space to work with either, so this makes perfect sense for now. When you open the box, you get a keycap and switch puller, extra set of keycaps for Windows and Mac uses, and some booklets. One of the first things I noticed with the K6 is that the keycaps are pretty bad in general. They feel very slippery and worse than other keyboards I've used in this price range. The plastic build is good overall. The frame that surrounds the sides could be a bit better, but you get what you pay for in this instance. All the ports and controls of the K6 are on the left hand side, which is great for the most part. I would have preferred the USB-C port on the front, and there are specific color LEDs that are for the side controls, but there is some light leakage at angles tilted to the side if you move back and forth. This doesn't affect the typing experience as it is fine with the Galen browns that I selected. The stabilizers are also another weak point with the keyboard. They're pretty noisy, to say the least. Using the keyboard wired or wireless via Bluetooth 5.1 is pretty simple. It makes it very easy for me to switch between devices, and I've really only used this with my iPad while switching between my wired connection when needed. Having the option makes things way more convenient. So here I'm about to do a test with just the K6. Most of the drawbacks that I mentioned can be fixed pretty easily. After researching for some switches I wanted to try, I landed on these Keychron box swirls, which are known to be very tactile and silent. Let me know if you'd like a review of the box swirls by liking this video and leaving a message in the comments down below. I purchased new double shot keycaps in all black with keys printed on the sides for a clean, minimalistic look. I'm going to add some foam to the base of the K6, so let's start taking out the keyboard. Taking apart the keyboard, some switches were more difficult to remove. The included switch puller doesn't help the situation, makes it a little bit hard, and a lot of the switches are stuck, so just be aware. I would suggest to purchase one to avoid broken switch clips. Once you remove the switchboard, you see that the wire connecting to the 4000 mAh battery. Note that the battery is glued onto the base. Gently remove the connection and you can start doing any upgrades you'd like. I opted to not lube the stabilizers for now. I used the packaging from K6's bottom foam and cut it to match the base. Once you're done, just put it back together and make sure to test the connection before you install your switches. So after these mods done to the keyboard, the typing experience to me is miles better than stock. The double shot keycaps used along with the switches make the most difference, I think. The sound is much more solid and satisfying, but let me know in the comments down below. While the stabilizers, specifically the left shift and enter, could still use some work, I'm not really bothered by it. Here's some tests I did. Overall, this is an amazing keyboard at a good price. I think most of the costs go into the hot swap and the wireless features for the K6. Those two things alone make it worth it. I think if they sold it as a bare bones configuration, it would be an even more amazing value. The mods that were done was relatively inexpensive, though box royals aren't cheap, and in total the keycaps costed a bit more than the keyboard in itself, but I think getting switches that you like are totally worth it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions or comments about the build. Later guys.